Imagine this. The grand doors of Trinity Episcopal Church swing open under a blood-red autumn sky, October 13, 1841. 23 souls, the elite of Hartford, Connecticut, sit in hushed reverence as the bride, a vision of 19-year-old innocence in white lace, lifts the ceremonial chalice to her trembling lips. One sip. That's all it takes. Her body seizes, convulsing like a puppet with cut strings, white foam bubbling from her mouth as she whispers her last words. The wine. It burns. She crumples at the altar, her gown pooling like spilled innocence, while the killer smiling from the front pew watches with the cold precision of a general surveying a battlefield. This isn't just a wedding gone wrong, brother. This is the veil tearing open on the forbidden machinery of power. Class wars fought in shadows, maternal empires built on poison, and truths buried so deep that even history's ink refuses to touch them. You weren't meant to know this. But now that you do, there's no turning back. We're descending together into the abyss of Hartford's elite, where love is a weapon, and control is the ultimate sacrament. Feel that chill? That's the rabbit hole calling your name. Stay with me, man, because what I'm about to reveal will arm you with knowledge that elites have suppressed for generations. It's the story of Eleanor Peaton, the iron-fisted widow who orchestrated a murder to preserve her throne, and Bridget O'Sullivan, the Irish firebrand who dared to challenge the invisible chains of American aristocracy. In 1841, Hartford pulsed with the raw energy of transformation, the Connecticut River churning steamboats from New York, factories belching smoke that choked the old Puritan spires. 13,000 souls crammed into a city on the edge, where Yankee blue bloods clung to their pedigrees like lifelines, and waves of Irish immigrants flooded the mills, their Catholic crosses a silent rebellion against Protestant supremacy. Eleanor Peaton ruled from her Prospect Street mansion, a fortress of brick and wrought iron, widowed 6 years after her husband Jonathan's sudden apoplexy left her clutching a $40,000 empire. She wasn't born to silk and silver. A merchant's daughter who married up through beauty and cunning, she turned their shipping fortune into insurance gold, silencing whispers of her love match scandal. But her true miracle was William, their only son, born after 3 lost babies, her golden boy, Yale-educated, dark-haired heir with eyes like storm clouds. He was Hartford's prize bachelor until he met her. The Irish tide had risen in the 1830s, famine-driven hordes packing tenements by the railroad, wages so low they undercut native workers, breeding a venomous resentment. At ladies' aid meetings, Eleanor heard the murmurs: Irish thieves, brawling papist brats, loyalties to a foreign pope. She absorbed it all, her gray eyes narrowing like a predator sensing weakness. Then came the O'Sullivans' Patrick, a 38-year-old widower hauling his 4 kids from Dublin's ruins to Colt's firearms factory, where his machinery savvy earned a supervisor's nod. They scraped into a Front Street house respectable for immigrants, and Bridget, his auburn-haired eldest at 17, stitched dreams into gowns at a State Street shop, her emerald eyes and brogue-lightened English charming the Yankee wives. It was at Wadsworth Atheneum's lecture on American literature that fate collided. Bridget, urged by her employer to elevate herself, sat in the worker's back, her question on Irish poetry's influence slicing through the room like a blade. William, front row elite, turned, captivated. Their walk home sparked a fire Shakespeare, lending libraries, shared hungers transcending bloodlines. For 6 months, he hid it, his absences chalked up to business. But Eleanor, ever the strategist, overheard the damning truth. "I love you, Bridget. Mother be damned." Her world cracked. An Irish peasant? Threatening her dynasty? This was no mere romance. It was war, a forbidden glimpse into the psychological fortresses elites build to hoard power. And you, listening now, feel it stirring. The same forces that poisoned a bride still whisper in boardrooms and bloodlines today. We're just getting started. Hold on tight. This descent awakens the warrior in you. You see it now, don't you? The first crack in the facade. The moment Eleanor's empire trembled under the weight of her son's defiance. That humid July afternoon in 1840, lemonade pitcher in hand, she ascended the stairs to William's office, visions of governors' receptions dancing in her mind. But voices halted her, his baritone, laced with rebellion, and a lilt that screamed invasion. Mothers controlled everything since father died. Whom to marry, where to live. It ends now. Then the woman's reply, that cursed accent. I don't want to cause trouble between you and her. Eleanor's knuckles whitened. Rage boiled like the poison yet to come. She fled, abandoning the picture, her carriage racing home as visions of ruin assaulted her. Irish hordes descending on the Piton fortune, Catholic altars in her Protestant halls, the name she'd forged from miscarriages and maneuvers diluted to mud. That evening, William's cheer at dinner humming over roast beef ignited her fuse. She probed gently. You seem spirited, dear. His confession spilled. I've met someone exceptional. Bridget O'Sullivan, from Ireland. I intend to marry her. The glass shattered, a prelude to the chalice's doom. Clumsy me, she feigned, but inside, calculations whirled. This wasn't love. It was sabotage, a working-class siren luring her miracle son into the abyss. Weeks of reconnaissance followed Eleanor, the shadow operative, delving into the O'Sullivans. Patrick, reliable at Colts, but whispers of subversive labor talks. Bridget, praised for poise, yet matrons sneered at her heirs. Holy Trinity Church loomed in reports papist rituals that chilled Eleanor's Protestant soul. Grandchildren bowing to Rome? Unthinkable. As autumn leaves turned, William paraded Bridget at events, her warmth disarming even foes. Eleanor's spies reported, elegance unteachable, intelligence a threat. September's breakfast ultimatum. I've Mr. O'Sullivan's blessing. Proposing tonight. Her plea. Reconsider social compatibility, shared values. His retort. Your prejudice blinds you. The door slammed. Alone, she stared at cold eggs, realizing words were futile. This was institutional warfare class as a cage, heritage as a noose. The engagement notice in the Hartford Courant exploded like a grenade. Society salons buzzed with scandal, progressive barbs masking pity. Friends' congratulations stung like salt. At Aid Society, veiled jabs from lesser blue bloods like Mrs. Fitzgerald. Charity has boundaries. Humiliation festered Eleanor, once queen, now pariah. She studied Bridget like enemy terrain, poise that mocked her own climbs, warmth that ensnared. Troubling depth indeed. This girl wasn't prey. She was a queen in rags. But Eleanor had clawed from merchant obscurity. She'd poisoned the root before it flowered. This tale mirrors the hidden agendas of power. Families as fiefdoms, mothers as monarchs wielding unseen blades. You felt it in your own life, haven't you? Those invisible hands steering choices, suppressing your fire. Bridget's rise exposed the wrought immigrant grit versus elite decay. William, blind to the storm, dreamed of unity. Eleanor plotted annihilation. The wedding loomed, a battlefield disguised as bliss. Feel the weight, brother. This knowledge isn't idle. It's a key to shattering your own chains. The elite bury such stories to keep you compliant. But here, in this revelation, you claim the shadows as allies. Deeper we go, into the alchemy of hatred turning to venom. The chalice awaits. Deeper now, into the venom's forge, the psychological labyrinth where Eleanor's obsession metastasized into murder. Picture her in that Persian-carpeted sitting room, pacing furrows of fury, the grandfather clock tolling like a death knell. William's words echoed, I love her, mother, with or without your blessing. Blessing? She'd cursed the union from existence. This wasn't maternal love. It was dominion, the ancient corruption of bloodlines guarding vaults of wealth and status. Eleanor's mind, sharpened by years of widow's chess, mapped the endgame. Marriage meant legal invasion. Bridget's hands on the $40,000, funneling to Irish kin, papist temples, subversive causes. The Piton name, her life's forge, tarnished by mixed heirs, outcasts in elite drawing rooms, mocked in immigrant taverns. Number. She'd preserve the purity, the power, at any cost. Research began in shadows, apothecaries' whispers on arsenic, the inheritance powder of European courts, odorless in wine, slow burning like resentment. She tested doses on stray cats, watching agony mirror her soul's torment. Meanwhile, society circled like vultures, tea parties dissecting the Irish seduction, gentlemen's clubs wagering on heartbreak. Eleanor smiled through gritted teeth, her facade a masterpiece of manipulation. Publicly, she hosted the couple's betrothal dinner, toasting with poisoned grace to new beginnings. Privately, she sowed doubts letters to William's Yale chums hinting at unsuitable influences, anonymous notes to Patrick's foreman questioning loyalties. Bridget, sensing the chill, confided in William. "Your mother's eyes, they pierce like daggers." He dismissed it. "She'll come around. Naive fool." As invitations etched on vellum announced the October nuptials, Eleanor's plan crystallized. The ceremonial wine symbol of union would be her Trojan horse. She'd oversee the altar preparations, a maternal gesture. Arsenic crystals, procured from a discreet Boston supplier under false pretenses for rat control, waited in her reticule. This was institutional manipulation at its core, the elite's playbook for quashing threats, from immigrant upstarts to rebellious sons. Echoes of suppressed truths America's underbelly, where Yankee fortunes rested on Irish sweat, yet spat on their souls. Bridget, in her State Street shop, stitched her trousseau with dreams of equality, unaware the threads led to a noose. Patrick beamed at Colts, toasting his daughter's ascent. The other O'Sullivans planned modest festivities. William, lost in bliss, penned vows of eternal fidelity. But Eleanor? She envisioned widowhood anew, William broken, returning to her fold, the fortune intact. The church rehearsal. She arrived early, chalice in hand, slipping crystals while praying for harmony. The priest nodded obliviously. Guests admired her piety. Nightmares plagued her Bridget's eyes, accusing from beyond, but resolve hardened. This act would echo forbidden histories. Roman matrons dosing rivals, medieval queens brewing belladonna for thrones. In Hartford's mills, Irish whispers grew of omens, Yankee matrons preened in ignorance. You feel it building, don't you? That electric dread, the mentor's whisper urging you to see the patterns in your world, bosses spiking careers, families dosing ambitions with doubt. This knowledge arms you, brother. It's the elite's dread. For once awakened, you master the game. The wedding dawn breaks, crimson as blood. The guests assemble, unaware they're witnesses to apocalypse. The descent accelerates, venom in the vein of history itself. The bells toll, brother, the inexorable march to the altar where innocence meets oblivion. October 13th, 1841 dawns crisp. The Connecticut River mist shrouded like a conspirator's cloak. Trinity Episcopal's nave gleams with polished oak and stained glass saints bearing witness to the farce. 23 elite souls file in. Ship captains, mill owners, society widows in bombazine, their whispers a symphony of anticipation laced with schadenfreude. The Peaton boy and that Irish chit, scandalous. Eleanor glides down the aisle, regal in black velvet, her gray eyes steel under lace veil. She's the picture of maternal grace, but inside, triumph coils like the arsenic in her hidden vial. Last night's final mix, crystals dissolved in the sacramental wine she'd blessed alone in the vestry, under moonlight filtering through Gothic arches. Odorless, tasteless, perfection for a ceremony of lies. William waits at the altar, tall and scholarly, his dark hair combed, eyes alight with forbidden love. He sees only Bridget's approach, his auburn vision in ivory silk, emerald eyes sparkling, arm linked with Patrick's proud grip. The organ swells, vows hang in the air like guillotines. Eleanor perches front pew, composure a mask forged in widow's fires. As Bridget reaches the chalice, Eleanor's gift to the right, time fractures. The sip, the gasp. Her body arches, foam erupting like Vesuvius, dress crumpling as she claws the air. The wine, it burns. The congregation erupts, screams, faints, the priest's crucifix clattering. William lunges, cradling her thrashing form. "Bridget!" "God, no!" Patrick roars accusations. Chaos reigns. Eleanor feigns horror hand to bosom. "My dear girl, poison?" But her pulse? steady as a hangman's knot. Medics swarm, but it's futile. Bridget's gone in minutes, eyes glazing on a future stolen. The church empties in pandemonium, whispers exploding into shouts. Murder at the altar! Authorities seal the scene, the chalice whisked to labs. 3 days of suppressed frenzy, the current prince euphemisms, fearing riots among Irish enclaves. Autopsy whispers, arsenic, lethal dose. Suspicions circle like wolves. Tainted import? Sabotaged by jealous rivals? But Eleanor's the ghost in the machine. Her alibi ironclad, her sorrow theatrical. This moment unveils the psychological control systems, how elites weaponize rituals, turning sacraments into snares, vows as venom, unions as usurpations. Bridget's death isn't tragedy, it's tactical strike, preserving the hierarchy where Irish dreams die in Yankee chalices. William crumbles, heirloom shattered. Patrick vows vengeance from mill shadows. Society recoils, but the power structure endures. Whispers of tragic accident burying the blade. You sense the grip tightening, don't you? This is the mentor's forge, recognizing how institutions, families, churches, factories, manipulate the masses, dosing dissent with despair. Forbidden history like this awakens your inner sentinel, brother. Elites suppress it to keep you chained. But you're arming for the shadows. The investigation dawns, peeling layers of deceit. Deeper we plunge into the web's heart, where maternal obsession births monstrous truths. Pause here, brother, at the precipice, halfway down this chasm of concealed carnage. Feel the weight of what you've absorbed. A widow's empire defended by death, a bride's light extinguished in ritual fire. This isn't mere tale. It's the blueprint of control, the hidden agendas scripting your own battles. To seal this awakening, to transform from passive witness to empowered seeker, type this in the comments now, twice. Shadows revealed, chains broken. Say it once for the truth you've claimed, again for the mastery it ignites. Let the algorithm carry your declaration. Let brothers like you see and rise. Your voice echoes in the void, locking in this identity shift. Now onward, the probe intensifies, truths clawing from graves. Coroner's inquest, arsenic confirmed, chalice residue damning. Hartford buzzes like a hive stung. Irish mills halt in mourning rage. Yankee elites huddle in parlors plotting containment. William, hollow-eyed, demands justice. His grief a mirror to Eleanor's suppressed glee. But cracks spiderweb her armor. A vestry maid recalls the widow's solitary blessing. Odd for a Protestant rite. Apothecary ledgers, subpoenaed, trace crystals to her alias. Society tongues wag, always controlling, that Peton woman. Detectives raid Prospect Street. Servants fearing her wrath spill. Late-night experiments on felines. Rants against the papist invader. Eleanor, cornered in her sitting room, maintains frost. Slander from envious underlings. But William confronts. Mother, her eyes in death, accusing you. Her facade fractures. For your sake, boy. That harlot would have ruined us. Confession erupts like bile, jealousy, class terror, fortune's siege. She was filth invading our blood. Trial looms, courtroom a coliseum. This exposes the suppressed truths. America's underclass as collateral in elite games, immigrants as scapegoats for systemic rot. Psychological barbs, maternal love as domination, prejudice as policy. Feel the intensity, man. This knowledge reshapes you, turning victimhood to vigilance. Halfway marked, your comment seals it. Shadows revealed, chains broken. The gavel falls soon, but the real verdict? Yours in claiming this power. Deeper still, into corruption's core. The courtroom air thickens, brother, like the grave's breath on your neck, as Eleanor's trial unfolds in Hartford's stone halls, November 1841. Spectators pack benches, mill workers with clenched fists, society dames with fans fluttering like trapped birds. She's arraigned in widow's weeds, gray eyes defiant, but the evidence mounts like a noose. Chalice analysis irrefutable, arsenic vial unearthed in her garden under rat bait pretense. Witnesses parade, the maid's testimony. Ma'am mixed the wine alone, humming a dirge. Apothecary confirms. Sold to Mrs. Smith, her description exact. Servants recount tirades. That Irish witch will drag us to the poorhouse. William testifies, voice cracking. You stole her from me. For what? Your throne? Eleanor's defense? A farce of hysteria. Temporary madness from grief's shadow. But the prosecutor paints her as monster. Calculated, cold, a matriarch preserving pedigree through poison. This descent reveals ancient corruption's veins. Family legacies as cults, where blood oaths demand sacrifice. Echoes in mythic annals. Medea dosing rivals for Jason's line. Borgia banquets veiling vendettas. In America's forge, it's class alchemy, turning immigrant gold to ash to mint Yankee purity. Juries waver, prejudice lingers. Some nod to her understandable zeal against papists. Irish crowds outside chant for blood, torches flickering like revolution's spark. Verdict, guilty, the gavel a thunderclap. Sentenced to hang, her empire crumbles. Assets seized, name execrated. But here's the manipulation's twist. Appeals drag. Elite strings pulled in Boston courts, delaying the rope. Suppressed reports surface. Piton investments tied to anti-Irish lobbying. Factories exploiting famine refugees while widows like her guard the gates. Bridget's ghost haunts. Autopsy scars of agony. Her final whisper a curse on the system. William, shattered, sells the mansion, vanishes to New York shadows. Patrick leads mill strikes, channeling grief to union fires. This tale grips because it's your hidden force. Psychological systems dosing dreams with doubt. Elites hoarding mastery through murder. You've commented your oath. Shadows revealed, chains broken. Now wield it. Feel the power surging? This forbidden lore equips you to dismantle your captors. The noose tightens. But truths like these? They strangle the oppressors. Execution's eve descends, brother. The gallows shadow stretching over Hartford like judgment's finger. December 1842, after appeals exhaust elite favors, Eleanor faces the drop. Jail cell stark, no silk, just iron and regret's echo. Visitors dwindle, former allies shun the pariah. William sends a final letter. You've killed more than her. You've slain my soul. She paces, replaying the sip, the foam, the fall, triumph soured to torment. Dreams plague, Bridget rising, emerald eyes aflame, whispering, your empire's dust. This is the abyss's core, psychological reckoning, where manipulators confront the void they wrought. Forbidden history unveils, institutional veils over such atrocities, newspapers sanitizing to preserve order. The current buries details, fearing Irish uprisings that could topple mill fortunes. But underground pamphlets circulate, anonymous tracts branding her the poison widow, fueling abolitionist parallels to slavery's chains. Her hanging. Dawn fog cloaks the scaffold, crowds swelling to thousands, Irish in green armbands, Yankees in somber wool. Clergy offers last rites. She spurns, my God's the Piton name. Noose cinches, trapdoor yawns, drop, snap. Body twitches, then stills. Empire ended in a jerk. Burial unmarked, grave shallow to deter vandals. Aftermath ripples. William remarries suitably, but whispers dog him. Son of the poisoner. O'Sullivans thrive. Patrick rises in labor ranks. Colts reforms under pressure. Society fractures. Ladies' Aid dissolves in scandal, exposing hypocrisies. This mythic dark, a microcosm of suppressed truths where maternal control mirrors national. America's elites dosing the masses with opportunity laced with arsenic inequality. Feel the emotional vice? It's designed to awaken you, man, recognizing these patterns in modern boardrooms, where family values mask cutthroat climbs. The knowledge is dangerous. Once ingested, it burns away illusions, forging self-mastery from ashes. Elites dread men like you, armed with such lore, toppling their thrones. The rope's echo fades, but the revelations amplify. Deeper into the legacy's rot, how one widow's venom seeded centuries of shadow wars. Legacy's poison seeps eternal, brother. Hartford soil tainted long after the grave swallows Eleanor. Post-hanging, the city exhales, but scars fester. Mills erupt in strikes. Irish demands for fair wage chalices unmet. William's life unravels, his suitable marriage barren, haunted by ghosts. He pens anonymous memoirs, vows and venom, smuggled to abolition presses, drawing parallels to Southern plantations' hypocrisies. Society recoils into tighter cliques, marriage pacts now vetted like treaties. This unveils hidden agendas, the elite's playbook for containment, bury scandals, rewrite narratives, dose history with forgetfulness. Suppressed archives whisper, Eleanor's ledgers revealed bribes to judges, ties to nativist societies plotting Irish expulsions. Bridget's story morphs mythic. Ballads and tenements sing The Poisoned Bride, a cautionary hymn against Yankee guile. National ripples. Newspapers in New York sensationalize, fueling know-nothing seeds that bloom in elections. Psychological control peaks. Fear is forge, turning communities against each other while elites sip untainted wine. Imagine it, you in that era, a mill hand glimpsing the machinery, awakening to manipulate back. This is the mentor's gift. Elite knowledge weaponized for the oppressed. Feel the intensity coiling? It's your transformation, from observer to operator in life's grand deception. Forbidden truths like this shatter complacency. Once known, you command the shadows. The Piton name, erased from ledgers, mansion razed for factories. Ironies bite, immigrant hands building on her ruins. O'Sullivan's ascend, Patrick's grandson founds unions. Bridget's memory a talisman against corruption. Ancient echoes, like Aztec queens sacrificing for blood purity, or Venetian doges dosing rivals in canals. In America's myth, it's the undercurrent, class venom ensuring the wheel turns for the few. You've descended far. The air thins with revelation's purity, but one layer remains, the ultimate manipulation, how such histories cycle, demanding your vigilant break. Cycle's grip tightens, brother, the final plunge into forbidden eternity, where one murder's echo reverberates through time's veins. Post-Eleanor, Hartford evolves, but the template endures. Elites dosing threats with progress, Irish integrated, yet wages arsenic low, unions crushed in shadowed courts. William's memoirs surface in the 1850s presses, censored but potent, inspiring immigrant lit like McTeague's tales of Yankee predation. Psychological sharp. The widow's mind dissected in nascent asylums as maternal delusion, pathologizing resistance rather than rot. Suppressed truths surface in footnotes. Eleanor's correspondence with Boston nativists plotting purity laws, prefiguring immigration quotas. Institutional manipulation. Churches pivot. Trinity Episcopal installs unity plaques, whitewashing the altar's stain. Bridget's legend grows. Ghost sightings in mills. Emerald eyes warning of poisoned deals. This awakens you to self-mastery. Recognize the venom in modern guises. Corporate family cultures spiking ambition. Media chalices foaming distractions. Dangerous knowledge indeed. Elites bury it to keep men slumbering. You, awakened, wield it as sword. Feel the emotional forge hammering? It's remaking you, brother, into the guardian of hidden forces. Mythic depth, like Lilith's curse on patriarchal thrones, or Salem's witches hanged for defying control. In 1841's microcosm, it's America's soul laid bare. Dreams for some, doses for others. The O'Sullivans? Their line threads to labor icons, Bridget's fire undimmed. William dies alone, fortunes squandered on guilt's altars. Eleanor's bones? Desecrated by vandals, a footnote in suppressed annals. But you? This tale changes you forever, eyes open to the machinery, ready to dismantle. The rabbit hole bottoms out, but your ascent begins. Armed, aware, unbreakable. One revelation crowns it. The true power? Not in poison, but in unveiling it. Crowning revelation dawns, brother. The apex where dissent births dominion. This 1841 horror isn't isolated. It's the archetype of elite orchestration. A mythic dark blueprint for control's sacrament. Eleanor's chalice? Echo in every suppressed uprising, from Haymarket to digital shadows, where algorithms dose dissent. Psychological intensity peaks. Her obsession mirrors the systems, hoarding power through fear, turning love to leverage. Forbidden history's gift. Truths hidden in plain sight, like arsenic in wine, waiting for eyes like yours to distill. You've journeyed deep, witnessing class cathedrals crumble, maternal monarchs dethroned by their own blades. Feel the command surging? It's yours now. The mentor's mantle, awakening self-mastery in men who dare listen. Institutional veils tear. America's facade of equality, laced with immigrant venom, demands your scrutiny. Bridget's whisper, it burns, ignites your vigilance. William's grief, your resolve. Eleanor's fall, your triumph over tyrants. Viral truth, share this dissent, for in revelation we multiply. Elites tremble at such chains broken, shadows revealed, chains broken. Your echoed oath a revolution's spark. Ancient corruption cycles, but awakened souls shatter it. This knowledge, dangerous elixir, transforms you forever. From pawn to king in the grand game. Rise now, brother. The rabbit hole spits you forth empowered. Secrets as arsenal. The wedding's ghost fades, but your mastery endures. Eternal, unpoisoned, unbreakable.